afternoon, guys. Welcome to our BOK team announcement. We've got head coach Rassie Erasmus and we've got Cameron Honeycomb, who is on debut this weekend. We can just jump straight into it, so please raise your hands for questions.
I see quite a few changes, but the most notable, the two brothers starting in our back position is Jordan and Jaden. How do you think that will go?
Hopefully well for them. I think more importantly is I think they deserve. We've been chopping and changing and really testing different combinations, and we could have played Kobus, Herschel, Yankees. There's so many guys, who's played for us in this year. Even Mornay of the Lions, But it's fortunate it worked out for the two brothers. Definitely they deserve a chance together. Jordan had one chance, and Jaden is pretty settled in our team. So, we're glad for them. But I think more than the family thing, that's a warm, fuzzy feeling. But the performance is very important.
Obviously, different countries, different, but obviously there's been a lot of talk this week about where Wales are and their successive defeats. When you came in with the Springboks, they were at a bit of a low ebb as well. I was wondering if you could just talk about your experiences of how you turned things around with the Springboks when you came in.
As I always say, it's very tough to talk about other people's situation, but since you asked the question, I'll hope and try and answer it as best I can. Obviously, we were totally different. We were a new coaching staff that came in, and then it's easy to start a new culture because it's almost like a new start. But I think Wales is in a totally different scenario. Just for the sake of Warren can't all of a sudden become a bad coach with his track record, and the players that they have. If you look at them individually, they are definitely. There's some world-class players in there. I know the record of losing 11 on the trot is obviously not great, but whenever we play a team that's backs against the wall, if I can put it that way, we take ourselves back. Just before I took over, I think we lost 57-0 in New Zealand, but then the next weekend we lost by the same team against New Zealand at Newlands by 2 points, and that was a weekend apart. So. I don't know. I just know Warren is a great coach, and I do know they've got great players. And whatever is not clicking quite there, I think he is a guy who has fixed things before. But deeper than that, I don't know the well set up to that.
So, do you think it's always going to be this year after a World Cup where coaches like yourself are going to make changes across the board just to find the right combinations moving forward? Moving some players out, and looking at your team now, how many of these are going to make it to 27? And do you feel that you're going to have to make some changes over the next year or so in terms of taking out some of the better players?
I think first of all is, you can't plan everything around the World Cup. If a guy's age is now 34 or 35 and he wants to end his rugby international career in 2026, you can't take that away from him because he won't be ready in 2027. A lot of players do plan their careers around World Cups. I've said it many times, a World Cup is sometimes just 6 tough games. Sometimes in your pool you've got one really tough game, and then maybe if you're lucky 2 easier ones, and then a quarterfinal, semi-final, final, where a rugby championship is 6 tough games, all that you can lose on the day. Not to say that the tier 2 nations, they're definitely coming up like all of us see, but it's tough it's unfair towards players getting older who's still good enough and the best in their position, which might not make 2027, to leave them out just because you are planning towards a World Cup. You must give those guys as much opportunity as we can. So I think what you've seen this year, hopefully you've seen that, is that we're trying to prolong careers. And I can't tell you who's not going to make it and who's going to make it. But that's why we are trying and sifting. But I guess probably not that it's cast in stone, but I think probably next year after the incoming series, going into the Rugby Championship, then we'll probably settle on a 33 or 35. I think you can see also that we disrespect no team by chopping and changing. It's just the way we knew we lost 2020 with COVID. and we try to maximize this year while seeing that. But I guess from next year, Rugby Championships, we will start just picking the informed players. Not necessarily you can go deep to the World Cup. Some are still the best in the position, but might just stop in the year before the World Cup. Sorry for the long answer.
Can I ask you one more thing? Going to take you back 25 years, your first visit to the Millennium Stadium. You turned up that day not expecting to lose.
I actually think if you go back to that week, if you go deep into that week, there were strikes of players on salary caps and of salary income, and there was lots of distractions. But what I do remember very well is a centre called Taylor that ran over me for the winning try, and for us losing the first time. So I'm sweating. For us losing the first time in history against the Welsh in 1999. You know, so. I can tell you one thing, there won't be a lack of respect from us to the Welsh team. Of course, just a little bit, some stuff that took us off task made us pay dearly on the field on that Saturday.
Well, if you could maybe pay respect to the 25th anniversary and have a similar result, we'd be very happy.
Yeah, but our people won't be happy back home.
Yeah.
Rassie, you've gone head-to-head with Warren a few times. Have you, or will you reach out to him to sort of just offer your support, obviously, with what the pressure that he's under? Have you spoken to him ahead of the game yet?
Yeah, we I think it was in Twickenham where we last saw each other. Was the match at Twickenham when we played Wales? Yeah, that's right. And that's where we lost. I can't remember the warm-up match before the World Cup, and we had a good chat there. You know, about the Lion series, and it's just how coaching becomes lonely and coaching becomes cutthroat, and you know, whenever somebody's under the pump, you know, you don't wish anything bad on that coach. And no, I wouldn't say I would love him to beat us, but I would love him to be successful. And you know, although we bumped some heads in the past, he's a rugby man through and through, and we've certainly had very decent discussions since. And yeah, I've got a lot of respect for him, and I hope he gets the respect from everybody which he deserves.
It's widely assumed here in Wales that if you beat Wales on Saturday, that'll be it for Warren Gatland. Would you be surprised about that?
I think maybe it should be the last question that I answer on that, because you know, it's more for us about us, and we've got a job to do. We represent South Africa. I can just put myself in Warren's, try and put myself, because I've been there before. If we lost 4 in a trot and people are calling for your head. And I don't know, sometimes you just turn it around because players really believe in a coach, and the coach understands, or sometimes just say the right word, or the team just decides, listen, we're going to do it for the coach or for the country. And so I can't comment on what's going to happen to him. We're preparing for the Wales that we know. I think we've been on record many times. We find them very similar, like Argentina, for typical people who's almost like South Africans in terms of working hard, grinding, normal people in the street, you know, who support their team, who know their players, and the players who we've always grinded it out, apart from the last game before the World Cup. So for us it was never easy. So we haven't played this Welsh team except once. We've played them I think 6 times since I've been involved, or 7, and I think we lost 4. So I don't know what's going to happen to him, but I know he's beaten me more than I've beaten him, or we, the team.
Lloyd?